Buddy, what is going on? The catch. Fam, hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope everyone out there has had a great Friday. Hope you guys are ready for a great weekend and ready for week 7 of the NFL season. It's a crazy one for us fantasy managers. We've got multiple bye weeks. We've still got injuries mounting up. We've got committee backfields popping up left and right. We've got all kinds of things happening. It's not a great time to be someone who plays fantasy football, but nonetheless, we're going to get through it. And you know what we are here for tonight: fantasy Q&A. Anything that you guys need, start sits, trades. How are these injuries affecting you? How's the waiver wire look? Whatever you guys need, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football tonight. And we've got Pete from After the Review Sports joining us tonight, per usual, for Friday nights. What's going on, Pete?
Not much, like you said. Getting usual. It's our little routine now. Friday nights, hanging out. Love hanging out with you guys. Tough week, brutal week, and it's a tipping point in the season. Maybe those guys that were started off hot, got you a few wins, are kind of coming back down to earth, and now everybody else is doing good, and you're holding on by a thread. So I'm gonna try and guide everyone through. Like I think 6 teams on a bye this week. Like it's tough. It's tough out there.
It's, like I said, it's a tough time to play fantasy football. I don't know if I've ever seen, like, 2020, there were some really bad weeks between like COVID designations and injuries and everything. But man, like, other than that, I don't know if I've seen anything like we're going like last weekend. This guy, it kept getting worse. But yeah, Panthers, Bengals, Cowboys, Texans, Jets, Titans. You guys know who's on bye, but multiple teams and still a lot of injuries popping up. So quickly looking at the news for the day, and then we'll hop right into the chat. C-Mac and Debo did not practice for the second straight day, but the Niners don't play till Monday night. Justin Fields and Roshan Johnson both ruled out for the Bears. That game is going to be Brian Hoyer versus Justin Fields, or excuse me, versus I don't even know his name, the Bears backup quarterback.
Bennett. I think
Yeah,
something
whatever it
Bennett.
is. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to lie.
He's
I guess
awful. He
I
is
know
awful.
I'm rooting for him, man. Daryl Henderson activated off the practice squad for the Rams matchup versus the Steelers. So we'll talk about that tonight. I know some of you guys are going to have questions about the Rams backfield. Pat Fryermuth, after looking like he was trending in the right direction, is not expected to play in week 7. So that sucks. Jahmyr Gibbs expected to suit up against the Ravens, but the Lions are still treating him like he's a delicate baby bird. If you look at all the comments leading up to what his playtime might look like. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Other than that, we're good to go. Everything's been covered. So yeah, tough week to play fantasy football. We'll probably say that quite a few times throughout tonight's stream, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get you guys right. And like I always say, just want to set the best possible fantasy roster that you guys can for the week, and best possible lineup that you can. Put your head down, move forward, and cross your fingers. So let's get right into it tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, Smokey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Diego, Alvin Kamara, my PPR GOAT. Yeah, I mean, just another absolutely ridiculous stat line by Kamara. And I mean, 14 targets, 12 receptions. So he's actually, if you look at, I don't know the exact stats off the top of my head, but if you look at Puka Nakua's first 4 games and the pace he was on, that was going to potentially break Cooper Kupp's single season record for receptions or whatever. Alvin Kamara, through these first 4 games that he has played, is like 5 receptions under that mark. So it's just like completely ridiculous for a running back. But Derek Carr is just checking down the football like every play. So if you own Alvin Kamara, you probably feel pretty good right now. 17.4 more fantasy points every game that he's played in. So Aaron Reborn, what's up? What's up, Cats? Good to see you, bro. Hello, hello. All right, Logan, hope you're doing well. Appreciate you coming by tonight. Start 2. We got Godwin, Lockett, Addison, and London. This is actually a tough one because all these guys, like, kind of very similar floors, very similar ceilings. So you're really looking for the best potential matchups, best potential upside. And I actually for a moment felt like I liked Addison out of this bunch. And interesting thing is the Niners secondary last year was like really weak, but they've actually really stepped up this year. They're actually 10th in the league against the wide receiver position. So I don't know quite if I'm there on Addison. Godwin, a tough matchup too, gets the Falcons. They're top eighth overall against the wide receiver position. Drake London's kind of interesting here. And
they're on the road. Road
yeah,
Falcons. Desmond Ritter goes from being the worst quarterback in the NFL to the extra worst quarterback in the NFL.
yeah, like I said, this is a tough bunch, but I do like Tyler Lockett. Good matchup against the Cardinals. They're bottom 4 against wide receiver position. So I'd start Lockett and a good amount of upside there. The second player is tough to choose here. Like I said, all tough matchups for these guys. Pete doesn't like Desmond Ritter on the road. I can't really blame him.
I don't like Desmond Ritter, period, but
Yeah,
he's like extra bad on the road.
I don't really blame you there. What do you think about going with Addison here?
That's tough. I mean, we've seen San Francisco kind of their secondary has been their worst part of their team. They've given up some stuff there. I don't think we're gonna have any time to throw the football. We don't have any design plays for Addison, which is kind of lame at this point in the season. I don't know. This Vikings offense. I didn't think we'd get to the point where this Vikings offense is what's holding back this team right now, because the defense is squarely in the middle in every statistical category essentially that matters. Like just average. Like I saw a graph and they were literally at 0.0 on like EPA and stuff like that. It's painful at this point. I can't trust Addison, but he does get touchdowns. Like that is the only
Yeah.
thing. He's the red zone target.
Yeah. It's interesting because Godwin had like a little bit of an elevated ceiling last week, but Evans was a little bit banged up. So the second one's tough. Lockett, a smash play, great matchup. And you're really looking at a really similar floor for Godwin, Addison, London. I would say look at which offense do you think is that do you trust the most here? And I'm kind of teetering back and forth between London or Godwin. So awful answer, Logan, but hopefully that was helpful. It's just tough. Like I think you're looking at a really similar floor and ceiling for Godwin, Addison, or London this week. All right, Smokey, dropped Muth everywhere. Had him, mixed feelings, but think I can do better streaming tight end. Johnny Smith is the guy I'm looking at who's like available in a ton of leagues. And you can't start him this week because he's on bye week, but Dalton Schultz is another really good pickup if you're in that streaming boat. I mean, Cole Kmet's been dropped. I don't really like him this week with backup quarterback in play. But yeah, there's not a lot of good options. So they're still better than Pat Fryermuth, who's not playing this week. And he hasn't
Rip.
touchdown week 1. Other than that, has pretty much been non-existent this year. Unfortunately, I love Fryermuth.
Yeah, me too. Dead on my bench.
I still think he can come back and be productive when he's healthy, but I don't know when that's going to be. Jeff Wilson playing. Do I start him or pick up Mason or McLaughlin? So I'm going to let you guys know, and we kind of talked about it earlier in the week. I'm really, really, really shaky on all these different running back committees that are going to have to step up due to injuries. So like, I don't really trust any of these players. I think Jeff Wilson will be kind of limited, eased back in. There's no reason to really like throw him into the fire when they already have most start. They got some production last week out of Salvin Ahmed, and then they're going up against the Eagles, who are the best team in the league against opposing running backs. So like, I don't really feel great. I mean, Mostert is a guy that you just roll out there because of the production he's seen, but it's not a good matchup. And I think Wilson's still going to be somewhat limited. So, and do I trust Mason? Not really. Like, do we have any update there on if Jordan Mason or Eli Mitchell is going to be the guy? I don't think we really do. So I just don't feel
thinking
great.
it's gonna be. I mean, I would think it's gonna be Mitchell, but
yeah. And then you can like easily argue. I think it's going to be Jordan Mason. Like it's just like, and Pete, your Vikings are a top 12 unit against the running back position.
Not bad against running back. We had one bad game, one just awful game against
the Eagles,
Philly, and Swift. And besides that, they've been great.
They actually moved up to top 10. They were top 12 last week. Now they're 10th overall. So
look at us.
I would actually probably consider McLaughlin here out of the options. Like, is there a high ceiling? No, but he can do something, and the Packers are a bottom 10 unit against the run. So I go McLaughlin. But do I like that? No, I don't really like any of these players. I'm also really not confident. I'm sure this is going to come up in the Rams backfield. Like, I just think the Niners backfield this week and the Rams backfield, you're really throwing a dart. And it might land, but it might not. And I mean, I don't know. We might see a lot of Darrell Henderson. We might see, I mean, they have like all kinds of running backs.
It's gonna be Evans. That's all. It's gonna be. It's gonna be Zach Evans.
Could be
Because
Zach
I need him.
Evans.
I need him this week. It's gonna be Zach Evans.
That situation felt like the best one to pursue on the waiver wire, and then of course, you know, they sign Myles Gaskin and add Darrell Henderson in the mix, and it's like
I think they did figure out though, at least like, hey, we kind of have to run the football to win games. We can't just, I mean, what was it? 2 carries for Kyron Williams in the first half or something like that, and then 16 in the second half, and they turned that game around. So,
well, and it makes sense. Like, you have to have depth at running back going into any game. You can't just go into a game with one running back, you know. So, but still, I'm really conflicted about these different backfields. It's okay to like maybe stash in these guys, but you go back to last week with DeMarcado and the Cardinals backfield and Ingram, and it was just a crap show, you know. Like, it's just a committee backfield and doesn't do anything for fantasy. Have fun at the Steelers game, Smokey. Could be a little upset there. Rams could lose. Could also beat you guys. Thank you for telling me to start Kirk instead of Ridley. You're welcome. Made a good call, I guess, for once.
I had to start Ridley, so that's awesome.
Still light. And so if you looked at the game last night, like the Saints, almost every single play were rolling all their coverage onto Ridley. Like, they wanted to take Ridley out of the game, and they did. It just didn't really matter.
And Ridley caught that ball that they didn't challenge on third down. I really think Ridley got that knee down in bounds, but Doug's killing me over here. He's killing me.
But Kirk was my guy.
It was great play by Kirk.
Kirk's my guy, so I'm standing by him. Have a lot of shares of him, so I can't complain. Aaron Reborn, my team is Tua, Mixon, Barkley, Hill, Allen Hawkinson. What trade should I make? I mean, it depends kind of like where you're sitting, like what your record's looking at, because I mean,
running back upgrade would be what I would think, and you can get. Problem is DJ Moore. It's like, that would have been like a really good flip 2 weeks ago after that huge game, because Allen and Tyreek are just lock plays.
Yeah, I mean, with DJ Moore, it's so tough because it's like, I think he would have stayed as productive as he was. Like, I'm not going to see 42 points again or whatever, but you can't predict injury like that to your starting quarterback. And I mean, Devon Shane being on your bench is great. You do have Nico Collins, which is another guy that can move into like that role that DJ Moore is playing for you. So, you know, I think DJ Moore and or Collins are movable. And I think Mixon's movable. So I do agree. Like, top thing to do here is try to upgrade at running back. Keep Barkley no matter what, but Sanders, Roschon, McLaughlin, like everyone on your bench is movable except for Devon Shane. And, you know, if you do move on from DJ Moore, then you have to keep Collins and then vice versa. Like, you want one of those guys in the flex. But yeah, you know, try to upgrade from Mixon, and Mixon's definitely tradable. But other than that, you look good. Packers or Raiders defense? Raiders for me. Like I said, I'm rooting for the Bears backup. I like a good backup quarterback story. It's always been one of my things. His name is Tyson Bagent. Can't believe I forgot that.
You know, his like last college game, he played Colorado School of Mines and threw 2 interceptions and was sacked 8 times. How this man found his way. This might be the most unlikely starting quarterback in NFL history. Like, how he found his way on a roster, and then now he's starting. Like, what is Chicago doing? Like, Justin Fields is made of glass. How is Colt McCoy or somebody not a backup for this team?
He went to Shepherd University, which is like close to me. So that makes me feel, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm starting him in a dynasty league just because I have 2 quarterbacks on bye, a super flex league. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I could probably start like a wide receiver running back and get more points, but I'm going to do it. So, I'm playing a Bear. I'm J Dubs. If you're in the chat, I'm playing you, and I want to start him against you because you're a Bears fan. Anyways, yeah, start the Raiders defense. He's not going to play well. Debo or Watson? I go Watson. I really like Christian Watson this week. This is a great matchup for him. So I think you roll him out there, and you don't think twice about it. So, I mean, this is just one of those situations where you kind of have that stable piece in Debo. But the other thing with Debo is, even though he's got a great matchup too, he might not play, and he plays Monday night. And even if he does, he could be limited. But man, this Broncos defense, like, they are just awful. So start Christian Watson. Full PPR, start one: Zeke, Charbs, Wilson, or pick up Reynolds or Henderson. I mean, I would maybe take a chance on Josh Reynolds here, but it's a tough matchup against the Ravens. So, but instead of like a committee running back, I would prefer Josh Reynolds in a full PPR format. So the disparity between Zeke, Charbs, Jeff Wilson, and Henderson is just like you're basically gambling like who's going to score a touchdown potentially, and all these guys could also not score. So I would just play Reynolds if I were you, Cats. Maybe it's Craig Reynolds. That would probably make sense. I would still go Craig Reynolds though, because at least the Lions run the football a lot. So go Craig Reynolds. Bad matchup, but volume should be there. I think this is the last trustworthy start for Moss. I'm debating playing Rice or Palmer over him in the flex. That's a good question. We could see JT full swing at any moment. But this is a tough matchup. Zach Moss has played well against good defenses though, but
this is like all-time good defense.
Yeah. I mean, he did really well against the Titans. But this Browns defense is literally on a historic pace. I like Rice. I mean, I've been talking about Rashee Rice off and on for a couple weeks now, but I like him this week. The Chargers secondary, bottom 3. It feels like a really good, safe play. I like him way more than Palmer. The Chiefs defense is actually quite good against wide receivers and running backs for that matter. But I would just start Rice if it was my roster. So, but Zach Moss, do I trust him this week against the Browns? Not really. Albert, good to see you, bro. Hello. What's going on, Juan? Logan Thomas or Michael Mayer? I probably just go Logan Thomas. Like, Michael Mayer, promising volume last week, but we need to see that pattern kind of emerge. I don't want to go off 1 week for a rookie tight end, so I'll go Logan Thomas. All right, Jeff Wilson or Eli Mitchell if CMC doesn't play. I feel like I'm going to be like no help with these types of questions this week. Really, the only like running back off the waiver that I feel good about this week is Craig Reynolds because he's a part of a good offense. And I know both the defenses in that game are good, but I feel like points are going to be scored in that game. It's an important game for both teams. I guess Eli Mitchell. I just don't see a lot of volume for Jeff Wilson back in his first week. But these are just tough. This is like looking into a glass ball that I don't have. You know what I mean? There's nothing to go off of to make this prediction.
Yeah, especially like the worst case scenario is CMC plays and then he tweaks, and it's like, because I don't know what Frisco's up to. I don't know what they're up to. They do have a bye next week, so I would lean that CMC isn't going to play if they don't have to.
Yeah. And I mean, do you think they can beat the Vikings without CMC?
Yeah, probably. Kittle's probably going to have a day, I'm assuming. I don't know. Their defense is really good. They'll win like a 13-7 game. I mean, I would be concerned though. Brock Purdy does not look good under pressure, and we blitz every play, every single play. We blitz. I think 76% blitz week against the Bears last week. It's like, okay, kid, figure it out.
I just don't feel good about Jeff Wilson. Chat, help each other out when it comes to these tough running back questions because I don't feel good about any of these situations, but I know a lot of you guys are in them. Palmer or Sutton? What's going on, Caleb? I don't know if I feel very good about Sutton. J. Alexander, Packers are the third best team in the league against opposing wide receivers. The Chiefs are ninth, but I see more points, I guess, potentially scored in the Chiefs game. So I guess I'll go Palmer. If Jair Alexander's on Sutton, I do like Sutton. I think he's been fine this year in PPR, but I don't feel very good there. So I'll go Palmer. Would you drop Roschon for Javonte Williams? Personally, no. Unless you have to play someone like this week. Listen, the Bears are in a bad spot right now, but I have no faith in the Broncos offense. So
the Bears are going to hand the ball off too. Like they're just
Yeah.
going to run. They're going to go into a power run formation, and you never know. You get bust a couple, get a touchdown. You're going to see a lot of touches in that offense. I still think the Broncos want to pass the football, which is like, okay, Denver.
yeah, and like I just don't feel if you put Javonte Williams into your lineup, when are you going to feel good? You know, he hasn't scored over 9.7 points this year at all. His ceiling's super low. This offense is just awful. I mean, at least Roschon has the potential just to completely take over that backfield and do something. So I'd rather have Roschon. Chase upside was starting Watson over Puka. Close, because I think Puka actually gives you a lot of upside because the Steelers secondary is awful. I start Puka, but it's very close. I do really like Watson this week. But I'm going to go Puka. But I think both will have great weeks for what it's worth. We're aloft. Hello, Drake London or Addison?
Oh, God.
We kind of hit on this earlier. I probably go. I think London is kind of the floor play, low ceiling, but kind of maybe a safer floor. Addison brings more upside, but also risk for like a bad game. But I don't know. Like, I do feel like the Vikings are going to be forced to throw the football in this game.
Well, they can't run it, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But we have the best run blocking offensive line, apparently, according to PFF. But
I guess I go Addison. I want to trust Drake London, but something about this matchup just doesn't feel like a Drake London game. But he's been fine for 3 weeks now, and you take away week 1 and the goose egg, like he's really only had one bad game since. So, you know, his worst 2 games since week 2 were on the road, and he's on the road this week in a bad matchup. So I
think Tampa's going to play a good game after they were super flat against Detroit last week, coming off the bye, and they basically Tampa has to win this game to win that division.
Yeah, I think I'll go Addison, but
we're at least at home. We're at least at home indoors.
Jacoby Myers or JT? That's interesting. I mean, normally I'm probably going Jacoby Myers for this week, just due to JT's matchup. But with Brian Hoyer in there,
Hoyer didn't look bad though. Hoyer looked like he still had some juice in that arm. I was really surprised watching that game last week. Like it was not like, oh God, they can't. I still think they can run this offense with Brian Hoyer. And if it does get bad, like they're gonna go to Aiden O'Connell. Like they'll go to the bat. They'll go to him to push the ball downfield.
Really understand why Aiden O'Connell's not starting.
Because he was pretty bad in his one start. He looked a little over. We've seen this thing where it's like the rookie quarterbacks who look great in the preseason. It's like, oh my gosh, like DTR and stuff. And they find out they get that spot start and it's like they're overwhelmed. Whereas when you have guys like, was it Herbert who got put in on the spot start because Tyrod had the lung puncture and he was awesome against Kansas City. It's just like you see that difference, like why these guys are 5th, 6th round draft picks.
Thought it was interesting. Like he at least put them in a position to win that last game, even if he wasn't great. It's like, don't you want to like kind of develop him potentially and see what you have?
I think
But
he's trying to save his job. Josh McDaniels trying to save his job.
yeah,
He needs to
be
he needs
true.
to churn out W's. Like
Yeah,
Brian Hoyer, they win this week. They're 4-3. They're feeling like
sure,
like
a
we have
chance.
some wins. Yeah.
Um, I think I if it's full PPR, I think you still go Myers. The volume's there. It's a good matchup. Battle of the backup quarterbacks. Who knows what that brings? But I mean, it's just a tough matchup for JT. Brown's fifth against the position, so if you really don't like the Brian Hoyer situation, you can go JT. But I think I go Myers. Call me crazy. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who don't like that call, but I think I go Myers here. How do you feel about Foreman versus the Raiders? Will he be a decent play considering all the RBs on bye? How many points in half PPR do you think he'll get? Yeah, so like there's a lot of you guys who just are in bad positions this week, and like you have to start a player like this. Foreman got the touches last week. I think you can start him this week with Roshan being out. It's a good matchup. The Raiders, bottom 8 against the position. So half PPR, I think he's a fine play. How many points I think he'll get? I don't know what to think about this game, man. He'll probably get you an okay floor to where you can start him. All right, Sutton or JSN? That's tough. Don't like Sutton's matchup. I don't think JSN's going to have a great week, but he does have a good matchup. So, like,
They just don't give him the ball.
yeah, like I don't really see a good ceiling for either player, but the volume's probably better for Sutton. He just has a worse matchup. So I know JSN got more involved last week, but like we don't really have the pattern here. It's just kind of like one game he saw more volume. So
At least with Sutton, like if they do get into the red zone,
yeah,
he's
that's
getting that look, and that's not a mismatch. Sutton versus Alexander on a 50-50 ball. Sutton's gonna
yeah.
win that thing.
And you never know. Sometimes in the red zone, like number one corner gets swapped to a different player. Safety gets on Sutton or something. So I think I agree. I think I go Sutton in this scenario. I just don't trust JSN quite yet. Trade Zach Moss for Christian Watson, winner L. I like that trade. I'm a Watson fan, so I'm good with it. Perfectly fine in PPR. You guys think JSN will break out this week? I mean, it's a good matchup. He could, but I don't want to risk it in my starting lineup. If you have a proven player, I think you go with them.
Let me text my Seahawks source and see what see what the move is.
Do it. Tommy, what's good, man? Be nice to Chicago's quarterback Tyson Bagnet. Cool story. Saw 30 for 30 on him this summer. 4th division, 2 QB to ever start NFL. Dad's an arm wrestling champ. Nice. Like I said, I'm rooting for him. He's in one of my starting lineups. I always like me a backup quarterback. He's got some sick tattoos. It's like his sleeper picture doesn't do him justice. When he's on the field, he looks way cooler. So we're rooting for him, but we'll see what happens. Start Geno or Watson. Geno. Great matchup. Geno will have a good week, I think. Two guys that I think are kind of like they might be on your bench, a quarterback that you should really consider starting are Geno Smith as well as Jordan Love against the Broncos. And I think Sam Howell's another good name in there. By the way, Trevor Lawrence really impressed me last night. It was his best game of the season yet, fantasy wise. And I told you guys earlier in the week I was really concerned between the injury, Saints defense, and him kind of already having a low ceiling. And he looked great last night. Grab Henderson as a stash. I have Chiron. See if he could be the guy. Yeah. Once Chiron's back, I mean, Chiron's a guy, but for now, it's a good kind of situation to hold on to. Would you trade Mostert or Saquon and Mike Evans for AJ Brown? I do like Brown a lot, but I got Brees, JT Hill, St. Brown, Myers, Hopkins. No, because then you're gonna be sitting with Brees and JT. I guess you have Mostert or Saquon with them. I mean, you do need. I don't know. You got Hill and St. Brown. AJ Brown could like really put you over the top in the flex, but this Dolphins offense. If you have pieces of it, I mean, it's a decent trade. You get AJ Brown, it's decent, but
Mostert's just like an expiring asset, though. Like as
yeah,
soon as A Chain gets back, now he could get hurt again, and like he may not
yeah.
be thing. Like
And like
Mostert gets all the red zone touches. They do not sub him out. He gets every
yeah.
touch.
And it's like exactly Mostert and Devontae Shane can like coexist and both have 20 points in a game. So it's like it's close. It's close. I mean, JT, or excuse me, Tyreek, St. Brown, AJ Brown would be beautiful, but I mean, at the same time, you're able to start Hill and St. Brown, Saquon and Mostert, then flex Brees, JT, Myers, and or Hopkins. So like, if you have a winning record, I think you just stay where you're at. If you're like for some reason somehow with this team like really losing, then maybe, but I wouldn't trade Saquon. And the only argument to trade Mostert is like Pete was saying when Devontae Shane comes back, like potential that his ceiling's lowered, but we didn't really see that, you know, at least against the right defenses. So it's close there. Am I trading Pittman or Godwin? I would trade Godwin before trading Pittman. Traded Diggs and Thielen for Gabe Davis. Get out of here. Get out of here. Winnie Cush. Change anything on the lineup. We got Hurts, Jacobs, Walker, Brown, Cooper, Laporta, Watson in the flex. Stroud, Cook, Evans, Hardman. No, you're good. You're good. Stay where you're at. Boxing Jack, what's up? Just traded Keenan, JSN for Higgins, Ashane, Kyler. Ooh. And Roshan. Oh, wow. I mean, if the rest of your roster looks fine, I'm okay with it. Keenan Allen, fantastic this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, JSN I don't care as much for in redraft. I'm okay with it because I like Higgins. I would rather have Keenan Allen than Higgins, but I'm okay with it because he got Devontae Shane. Kyler and Roshan are still just sitting on your bench, but they're like kind of nice. So we'll see. DeAndre Swift season. Hello. Good to see you, bro. Drop one in half PPR. Ferguson, Stroud, Goff, Ingram, Reynolds are downs. Have Logan Thomas and Stafford starting. Probably Ingram. Like he's only serviceable for a couple weeks and his ceiling's pretty low. Probably him unless you just don't want to roster two tight ends. You can drop Ferguson. But having Logan Thomas, I maybe keep two tight ends. Most starter Gibbs. What's up, J Dubs? This is a good question. It should get you guys' thoughts. How do we feel about Jahmyr Gibbs this week? He's playing.
I have to see it, right? Like he said, like Dan Campbell could say all he wants. Like he's getting the rock. We need him. We have to have him. He's playing a really good run defense too. I
think you have to be like, if you don't have anyone else you can start, which a lot of you guys this week, you're going to be in that situation. Then whatever, throw Gibbs out there, cross your fingers. Probably a decent floor. It's a tough matchup. I do think the defenses could bend in this matchup, be an exciting game. But I think you just go Mostert here. Like, prove him. Tough matchup for Mostert too. But I think you roll him out there. Gibbs, I agree. I don't know. If you don't have better options, you start him. But I think you got to see it too. And I think Craig Reynolds is going to get a lot of touches.
Yeah. And it's like hard to believe, like Detroit on the road outside back-to-back weeks at a conference game. Baltimore needs this game more than Detroit does. Detroit's going to cruise to the division title now. Higher aspirations. It's really hard to see Detroit do this back-to-back weeks on the road against tough defenses.
Yeah.
Like this is a real classic trap slip-up spot for the Lions. But maybe the Lions are just great. Maybe they're just great.
Maybe. I'm excited for that's probably
second. The Dolphins Eagles got to be the best game this week.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna say
that's
early
a game.
window. I'm really looking forward to that Lions Ravens game. But yeah, Dolphins Eagles is going to be super interesting. because this Eagles secondary is bad, but their front seven is great. The Dolphins defense sucks. So like, and the Dolphins offense, the Eagles offense, both very good. It's Sunday night. That's gonna be just a fun game, man.
It feels like both teams need a win in this spot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Dolphins still have something to prove, and
They have
Eagles coming off a big
a
loss.
lot to prove, the
Yeah,
Dolphins. Like, if you can beat the Eagles with this offense, then nobody's gonna doubt them.
yeah. All right, so I got offered ETN for Mixon and more. Yes, I would do that for sure. I would do it. Absolutely. Badgen's a better passer than Fields. I mean, that's probably true.
That's not hard. I think I'm a better passer than Justin Fields.
Tyler Badgen's dad is an absolute unit. I guess, yeah, he's the arm wrestling champ. That's what Tommy told us. Start Kyle Pitts or Luke Musgrave. This is interesting. I think Musgrave's a good sleeper. If you're really hurting at tight end, as long as it's full PPR, he's got a great matchup. The Broncos are the worst team in the league against tight ends and quarterbacks and running backs.
I picked up Musgrave for Freiermuth going down. I think that's going to be a really nice fill-in.
He's a great stream. Kyle Pitts, though, been doing
He
things.
looks like he plays football.
Yeah, he's been doing stuff. He's okay. It's a tough matchup. The Bucks are the second best team in the league against the position. So Pitts is kind of like the upside play here with a lot of risk due to the matchup and due to the fact that like it's still Kyle Pitts. We know what's happening there. But Musgrave, I think, is like a pretty safe start in full PPR. But I don't think either ceiling's crazy high here. So I would probably say Pitts, but the matchup's really tough. So, and they're on the road. If Falcons are at home, like maybe I don't mind as much, but tough. Chat, who do you guys like more, Pitts or Luke Musgrave? Musgrave, the matchup's just great. I mean, I think the Packers going to have a big week.
I think everyone's just burned by Pitts too much. It hurts. Like, normally you just go down with Pitts, but he's done it too many times.
And like Pitts is one of those guys, you have him, you probably just start him because
tight end position is so bad.
It is. All right, let's see here. I think Lockett will be okay. If so, I have to flex McLaurin or Flowers. I mean, I like Flowers this week. And I don't really mind McLaurin, but I think Lockett will be fine. And great matchup. Great matchup for him. So, I mean, all these guys are fine. Space Ghost. Picked up Roshan 2 weeks ago. Once again, he's on IR. Is he worth keeping? Running backs are Jones, Cook, Robinson, Wilson. Yeah, Johnson's worth holding on to still. So, especially if you can throw him, keep him on your IR, it's not really hurting anything unless I don't know, so many players hurt right now. It might be, but he's worth holding on to. Yeah. JJ and Sutton or JSN for Gibbs, Ayuk, Davis. I mean, if you need to win right now, like if you're in a bad position, you can take Gibbs, Ayuk, and Davis. If not, you keep JJ. Like I'm not on the trade JJ train, and we have to get Pete's opinion here, though.
No, keep Jay. Like the Vikings are at a super soft stretch in their schedule too. Like after Frisco, it's like at Green Bay, at Atlanta, New Orleans at home, Chicago at home, and then a bye. Like Minnesota could chunk out like 3 or 4 wins here, and then it's like, okay, JJ has to come back. We have a dark horse playoff chance.
Yeah, I just think unless you're just like you've only won 1 or 2 games and you're just desperate, you keep JJ. You're just gonna shoot yourself in the foot if it's 4 weeks from now and JJ's back, and when JJ is back, he's just gonna be JJ. It's like Cooper Kupp coming back or Jamar Chase coming back last year. It's
they're going to be extra cautious too. It's not going to be like a rush back job. Like when he's come back, he's going to be good to go.
Agreed. All right. Happy I got Reynolds off waivers for free. Yeah, he's a good pickup this week. Training gives us a sell high. Who'd you target looking for a running back? I mean, how can you sell Gibbs high right now? J-Dubs hasn't done anything.
Well, he's going to have a good week this week, and he can sell him high.
And it's so tough, man. Like, it's so hard to really like. You have to go. What you need to do, Jabs, is you need to go look through your league and what teams are hurting at running back. There's a lot of them. Offer Gibbs, and then at that point, you're kind of selling them high. But it's really hard to say who to target because there's so much up and down movement at running back right now. But find a team that's really weak at running back and offer him to one of those teams. Birdman, good to see you. Here we go. Vikings will upset the Niners. Let's go.
Maybe. I mean, if you want to watch it, head over to my channel for the stream on Monday night. We got it's gonna be a something. I got an outfit ready, costumes maybe, special effects. It's gonna be a piece of work.
I'm going to challenge you guys to raid Pete's channel on Monday night just to support him through this game. So link for after the review, Pete's channel is at the bottom of the chat. Actually, I'll pin it to the chat. Okay, YouTube is freaking out on me. But yes, be there Monday night for Pete's stream. Here we go. Now I can pin it. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Pete's channel, make sure you guys head over and subscribe as well. All right. Musgrave or Njoku. I listen, I really respect David Njoku in his situation right now. I think it's really badass, but I don't like him in fantasy at all. And Watson's probably not even going to play. I go Musgrave between the two. For sure. All right, instead of Jeff Wilson, would you play Judy or Eli Mitchell?
I can't play Judy in good I can't play Judy and like feel okay about myself. I hate him so much.
It's a bad matchup too.
It is not a good matchup at all.
I would still like play Wilson or Mitchell, I guess. And chat, let us know for each other and everyone in the chat, like out of the situations this week, like the Niners backfield, Jeff Wilson coming back, Donta Foreman, the Rams backfield, like Craig Reynolds, like in terms of these waiver wire pickups that we've had at the running back position, who are you guys most confident in? Because quite frankly, I think we're all kind of in limbo. And if there is really like one content creator that is like sitting down telling you like, yeah, you have to start Jordan Mason, like they're lying to you. Like maybe like if you have a hunch and you have a good feeling, like that's fine to put it out. Like I feel pretty good about Craig Reynolds, but it's just it's kind of a crap show. So I'm interested to see like who you guys like the best. All right, let's see. When is A-Shane due back? After their bye week is probably when he'll be back.
I think week 11. I think it's week 11.
Yeah, but yeah, they're on bye week 10. So he gets Las Vegas in week 11. So he should come back in good fashion. But you never know. Maybe he's a week or so early. But non-PPR, pick 2, Hunt, Warren, Mitchell, Wilson. My running back CMC. In doubt, Monty Connor. Yes, gosh, so ugly out here, man. I would start Hunt. I like Hunt this week. At least he scored last week. Colts aren't great against the position. And I don't really like Warren at all.
I don't know about Warren. Like
actually,
Pittsburgh, he might be okay. Maybe like coming off the bye, like it's very clear he's the better of the two running backs. They need to get him involved more. But it's like, did Pittsburgh get any better on the bye with the offense, or is it still just burn your eyes out because it's so bad?
Tough match. I mean, Rams are top 12 against the position. But I think I actually agree. At least we've seen something out of Warren. That's the thing. Like Mitchell could give you a goose egg, or he could give you like 20 points. It's like Jeff Wilson give you like 3 points or like 10 points. You know, it's like at least with Hunt and Warren, like there's a floor. So I guess I go with them. Dude, CMC Monty Connor is like just so tough, man. This year is like it's rough.
Nobody scores points anyway either. Like offenses are dead this year on top of everything.
Field goals are like at an all-time low, which is really interesting. Would you guys play Donta Foreman versus the Raiders over Mason and Mitchell? Yes, I would personally. I'm just like boring this week. I'm just like take the 4 because I think there's a lot of risk with a lot of these committees. Kareem Hunt or Elijah Moore? Kind of tough because we don't know for sure that Watson's out, but he's probably I don't think he's gonna play. I think you just go Kareem Hunt. He was involved in the game plan last week, and we're probably gonna see PJ Walker out there again. I mean, Elijah Moore just quite frankly hasn't been very good. He hit 11.8 points in week 3 against a really bad Tennessee secondary, but other than that, he hasn't given you double digits. So I don't know. Let me see.
I like Kareem. I like Kareem Hunt in a full PPR. Like they're gonna run they ran a ton of screens last week, Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of leans over the edge with Kareem Hunt. And it's not like Indy's not any world beaters over here. I mean, they have a good pass rush, but it's indoors. It's gonna look a lot better. Cleveland's offense should look better than it looked last weekend against San Francisco with PJ.
And my mistake. It looks like Watson's actually.
He practiced, but it's Deshaun Watson. Who the hell knows?
Well, now the report's saying he's expected to play. I don't know what that means. I mean, probably be kind of last minute there. So, and probably be a game time decision is what it'll boil down to. But I think I go Hunt anyways. Like
it's like the
Elijah
safe play.
Moore,
like we're all safe play this week. Like safe
Yeah.
plays. Like Hunt is gonna get touches.
Week 7, we gotta. I never want to remember week 7. Fred, Zeke or Algier off waivers. Zeke, I guess. He's made a little bit more noise than Algier since week 1, that is. Ravens, Seattle, or Washington. I like Washington this week, but Seattle's okay too.
I think Washington was number 1 on Steve's video.
I like Washington. I mean, especially at least they have that front 7. I mean, their secondary is awful, but if Daniel Jones probably not going to play, right?
He's not playing. It's going to be Tyrod again. I don't think. I mean, he could, but I doubt it. They their offensive line's a train wreck in New York.
That's the big thing.
And everyone's overhyping like that Buffalo game. They scored 9 points. Like it was pretty awful offensively for the Giants. Yeah, they got 2 red zone stops and didn't get any points out of it, but it's like okay, they had like 2 drives in the game where they moved the football and they felt like okay, they're doing something here.
And like we kind of think about the Bills defense as like a really good defense.
Well, they're bad now without Milano.
They're not that good.
Or they're bad now with the injuries they've had. They're missing 2 in their front 7 and they're missing their best corner. So
I mean, at least from a fantasy perspective, they've been pretty good against quarterbacks and wide receivers. They're one of the best teams against opposing quarterbacks. We'll give them that, but they have not been good against the run. For what it's worth, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I go Washington here. So Chris says probably Elijah Moore since Hunt is questionable, so probably something to keep an eye on there. I don't watch any UFC, so no DeAndre Swift season. I'm not, but keep us updated. Let's see.
Always bet on Volkanovski. Okay, always go with Volkanovski. He doesn't. He doesn't lose. He needs a little rematch. He's gonna win that fight.
Myers had all types of terrible quarterbacks for Jimmy, and that's fair. That's fair. 4 minutes safer bet than Jeff Wilson. I would say so. Is Henry getting traded? Maybe. Maybe not.
Who's gonna trade for? He's expensive still. Like,
yeah, hard to say.
Unless the Titans are gonna eat that contract.
Yeah. Not really sure if I should keep Tutu Atwell with Cup and Puka. Is Tutu getting enough use to warrant keeping him? Not an 8 team, no. Not an 8 team. 12 team area, yeah, you keep him on your bench. If Puka or Cup go down, he sees really good volume right away. 8 teams, no, you're fine. You can drop him. Traded for Aaron Jones in like week 3. I haven't got to play him yet. Please pray of Kenneth. Aaron Jones could be a huge week. Yeah, I mean, looks like Jones is on pace to play, and he gets the Broncos, and then Kenneth Walker's been great.
That hurts. It sounds like he traded Aaron Jones for K9 or gave up K9 to get Aaron Jones.
No,
I'd
well,
have. That's brutal. That's
he does have Kenneth Walker. He
okay.
does.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be really
I,
upset right now if I didn't have K9 for Aaron Jones.
Tommy is a Seahawks fan. He's not allowed to trade Kenneth Walker. Nothing confirmed yet, but Henry the Ravens would be sweet. I mean, yeah, if the Ravens could just get it.
No, it wouldn't, because then Henry would tear his knee or something. Because
Yeah,
playing running back in Baltimore is just like an injury curse.
exactly. Say if they just
I
had
don't want that to
any
happen.
running back who could stay healthy, it'd be cool. So, but Henry there would be quite interesting for sure. Would y'all start Dobbs, Rasheed, or Randall? I like Rasheed Rice here. Yeah. I go Rasheed, Randall, Dobbs. But Dobbs is in a position where he could have a sneaky good week. But I like Rasheed Rice a lot this week. So.
Yeah, the Chargers play like they did against Dallas in the secondary. He's gonna have a huge game.
Yeah. Gibbs for A. Shane. Wait, you're trading? Yes, I would do that. I would. I mean, I'm all over this Dolphins offense, so I would.
And
do
then
it.
you could flip Mostert, or unless you want to run the double-headed monster of the
Yeah.
Dolphins backfield.
I would do it.
Yeah,
but you never know.
you don't need.
Like,
He doesn't need it. Like he doesn't need Gibbs.
yeah, if you want to try and hold Gibbs through the weekend, like even if he doesn't have a good game, like does he really lose value? If he has a good game, then he gains a lot of value. But yeah, I would trade him for Devon Achane. So traded JJ Waller London for Andrews Lawrence, Eagles defense, and Bijan. Wow. That's a lot, but at least he got Bijan. Like it's like a small tier of players like Bijan.
Andrew helps.
Yeah.
Tight end's a disaster.
Bijan, Hill, Kelsey, JJ, like CMC.
Like it's crazy that Kelsey is tight end 1 right now, and he's been kind of just mid, and he missed a week.
Yeah, I mean he's like
clearly tight end 1. Yeah, clearly tight end 1.
Yeah. Trade Jacobs and get Kyron and Hawkinson. If you need a tight end, yeah. I mean, if you can play somebody until Kyron's back, yeah.
No, Hawkinson can't catch a football either.
But I mean, Jacobs is still looking fine, so depends on the roster, Smokey.
They're gonna lean on him more too if they got no quarterback.
Oh yeah. Remember I cried in chat when Swift dropped like 1 point week 1. Now he's really top 12 running back. Yeah. Told you guys do not panic on him 6 weeks ago. How do you feel about owning Fields and Tua, and no one will buy Fields for a sack of marbles? Guess just sit and wait. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're in a league where you can put Fields on your IR. I mean, what else can you really do? You're trading him for scraps. You might as well go to the waiver wire. But you can. You just hold on to him. When he's healthy, you never know. Tua's injury prone as well. So he could be good for you to have on your roster. But yeah, when you're in a situation like this, you just don't sell low. You're just, like you said, if you can't even get a sack of marbles for him, like it's just not worth it. Game will be a close one this week. Kamar helped me out to make it a bit more balanced. Oh, are we playing in a league? I'm going to beat you, Smokey. Drop Komet for Schultz. I'd rather have Schultz, but you just can't play him this week. The Texans offense, they're going to throw. Stroud has looked good. Schultz has been really good the last couple of weeks. So.
He's been getting better and better each week. CJ realized, like, oh, I can check down to my tight end. This is useful.
Yeah. And I don't think, like, Komet's going to do anything until at least Fields is back. So, and even then, like, he's going to be kind of up and down. So,
well, we kind of want to see, right? Like, we really don't know what who his receiver is. Like, he went to DJ, he fed DJ Moore a couple of times, but they were pretty contested throws. Got DJ Moore killed on one of them.
So trade Mostert for Barkley. That's a good question.
Wait like 2 weeks and see if you can get that flip, because Mostert is an expiring. Like, Mostert's biggest problem is he gets touchdowns. He's not going to get any yards when Achane comes back. He's just not.
It's close, but I would definitely consider it. Washington or Green Bay. I mean, both are okay this week. But I mean, I think like as abysmal as the Broncos are, they are at home, and this is still an offense that like every now and then it's just going to have like a good game.
They had 10 days off. 10 days off too.
They make no sense. Green Bay, like other thing we have to remember is like traveling to Denver is really tough for opposing teams because of the air or whatever it is.
Altitude. It's the
Yeah,
altitude.
altitude.
Not a lot of air up there.
I think I go Washington. Rasheed Rice or JSN? I'll go Rasheed Rice here. Easy for me. Full PPR flex, Hollywood, Lockett, Watson, Stream Lover, How. Yeah, good options here. I like Watson though. I love him against the Broncos. So Hollywood, nothing to sneeze at there. Lockett, really good matchup too if you want just pure upside.
I just see Seattle's pass Steve's getting like they're like back to what they were last year. They were really good last week against Cincinnati. The Bengals had a really tough day against that
It is a great
secondary.
matchup. I mean, Arizona's defense has been better than we thought it would be, but they're still really poor against wide receivers. So I think Lockett and Watson kind of in the same boat. Like they're both upside, good plays, high ceilings, good matchups. Hollywood Brown kind of in a tough spot this week, but he's still a safe play. Love her Hal. I love both these guys this week in terms of kind of streaming options. I think I go Jordan Love, but it's close.
It's a little
Both
too
these
much
teams
faith in
on the
Jordan.
road.
It's just like I guess like this is the only week to do it because this is like maybe they go all in. Like you have to show us something, Jordan Love, because I think Green Bay's really ready to pull the plug on him because he is not. He's he's not a rookie. He's a fourth year in the league quarterback, and he looks like a rookie.
Yeah, it's super close. Great matchups for both of them, man.
That's why I think like, yeah, Love, because like
Yeah, I think
you
I
have
agree.
to do it against this team. You have to do it against a bad Broncos team.
It is a better matchup for Love too. I mean, literally, the Broncos are the worst team in the league against the position. You know, the Giants, believe it or not, are 18th. So like, they're better than you would think.
And Washington still might lean on the run on top of things. Like they don't have to open that bad boy up to win that game.
I think CMC sits. If so, who's the next man up? Probably a little bit of Mason and Mitchell. We'll find out. I can't wait to find out just so it's over with. Tingley, what's up? Would y'all trade ETN for a better wide receiver, been using Puka and Smith? It depends on the whole roster. You know, who else you have at running back. But if you're trading ETN right now, you're trading him for like a stud package.
Like AJ Brown. You need to be getting like
Yeah.
an AJ Brown type of receiver because
I
ETN is
mean,
a top 3 back clearly right now.
yeah, ETN has scored what 2 touchdowns like 4 weeks in a row.
3 straight. 3 straight. That was the stat
3
fact of the day yesterday. 3
Oh, nice,
straight.
nice.
First drag.
Yeah. And even before that, like he was playing just fine, you know. But yeah, he's the RB3 right now. Like you're selling him super high. Like he just did that against the Saints defense, which has been good against the run. You know, they have like after their bye, they have some really favorable matchups. There's some tough matchups too, but like I don't know if it matters. It's just the way this offense is ran. So you could use an upgrade at wide receiver for sure. But you better get like a very good wide receiver for ETN right now. Cats 1-5 made 3 consecutive trades today. Oh, okay. Got rid of A. Shane Pittman, Addison, Roshan, Kyler, Randall, Reynolds. Got Kenneth, Allen, JSN.
That's a good flip. You're a little undermanned, but Keenan and Kenneth are going to get you dubs.
Yeah, those guys elevate your roster right away. JSN, leave him on your bench, see what happens. But I mean, sucks to you. I still like Pittman and A. Shane and even Addison. The rest of the guys completely fine to trade, but I would still rather have Kenneth or Allen than any of those guys. I really like Devon A. Shane, but if you need to win now, he's a good player to go ahead and trade, of course. So Tommy traded Gibbs for Aaron Jones. That was a good trade, actually.
That's a good trade.
Yeah. When are you selling Mostert? A. Shane projected to be back week 11.
Like week 8.
Yeah, I'm trying to like kind of
about it.
And that's the thing, like you're gonna see some big games. So like I'm trying to hold on to him personally. Because he's still gonna get fed like crazy right now. And so let's see here. I mean, they play Philly, New England, Kansas City. So like New England's the best matchup.
After that Patriots game, because he's probably gonna have maybe a stinker this week. Maybe he doesn't do too much, and then he has a huge bounce back game. And then if you're sitting pretty, you flip him for a monster if you need it. Like you can get a top tier wide receiver. You can flip him for another running back if somebody's like gullible. Like
Yeah.
you want to flip Mostert for Saquon Barkley? I'll take that trade.
I mean, he had 25 points in week 2 against New England, and that was on the road. He's still the RB2 in fantasy right now. So, like, C-Mac's the only person in front of him. So, I do agree it could be a down week against the Eagles, but I think he'll bounce back, and that's probably a good time if you are going to sell him to go ahead and do so. Let's see. What's going on, Gob? Full PPR, keep to drop to Barkley, Ramondre White, Harris, Pierce, or keep them. Don't know if I'm reading that right. Maybe start to bench the rest. I don't know. I would start Barkley, and I still probably start Ramondre right now. I know it hasn't been great, but he looked good last week. The volume was there. The Bills have been pretty soft against the run. Bottom 10 unit. So I'd probably start those two guys. Rashad White, like, love him as a player, but man, he has like had the worst schedule for a running back this year in fantasy, and I just don't think we can start him again this week. It's another tough matchup. Loved him coming in the season, but man, his matchups have been brutal outside of the Bears when he had like 20 points or whatever. I think the best starts here are Barkley and Ramondre, but let me know if that was like your question. I'm not reading the first part. Most start are Monty rest of season. Monty. But I mean, I still think Mostert will be fine. It's just his volume will probably drop when Shane's back, like we've been discussing. But
Now we could be in trouble here if Gibbs is like shows out this week or something like that, and maybe they cut into Monty. He cuts into Monty a little bit, but
no, they're always going to treat Gibbs like he's DeAndre Swift. Like there's the Lions want to have a running back that they just like
lean
hate
on.
for no reason. But no, I'm just kidding. I think you make a good point. But I just think that line. I mean, listen, we have two great offenses here, but the thing with the Dolphins is like they can come out and I mean, don't get me wrong. The Lions have had some games where they've thrown really well, but we know the difference between the passing attacks here. The Lions want to run the football first and foremost.
And their schedule is super soft.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
super soft. They have Vegas next week after Baltimore, and then the Chargers, and then the Bears. It's like
Yeah. Hold Jeff Wilson or trade a Mostert owner for Spears. I would maybe try and go get Spears because I mean, I still feel like the pecking order is Mostert, Ashane, Wilson, Salvon Ahmed. And then like it's gonna flip to like Ashane, Mostert, Wilson, Salvon Ahmed. So Spears at least is the RB2 on that team. So and if anything happens to Henry or maybe he gets traded, right? Tajay Spears is in a great position. PPR Deontay, JSN, KJ. That's interesting. I might go. Do we trust Deontay his first game back? I don't know if I do. But out of these options, I kind of like him.
yeah, it's
I think I go Deontay.
yeah. I don't think the whatchamacallit's defense, the Rams defense isn't.
They've been good against position.
They're just like kind of okay though. It's not like
Actually they're top 5.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that's game script. I don't know. I think I go. I mean, like, do you like JSN or KJ more? I feel like you
No,
don't. I feel like you
not
don't
at
like
all.
KJ.
He just drops the football. It's a problem. KJ leads the NFL in drops.
I think you go Deontay. If you don't like Deontay fresh off injury, you don't like KJ's matchup. It is a top 10 matchup. You don't trust KJ. JSN has upside due to the matchup, but let's be real. He hasn't
We
been
want to
great.
see it's like we want to see it to believe it with JSN. He's at least great. Like JSN, like at least has the potential.
Yeah. So Gob's question was keep 3, drop 2. Okay, I would keep Barkley, Ramondre, and okay, the last one's really tough. White, I think could be so much better. He's just had awful matchups. Harris, like
Terrible. Just a bust. The bust.
Pierce is on an offense that no longer wants to run the football. I think you keep White. I think you keep White.
His schedule is so bad. They have
So
Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo next week is okay. And Houston's not great. Tennessee's not great. San Francisco's not great. It's like, oh, poor White. You just can't get him the football effectively.
I mean, he's literally played Minnesota top 10, Chicago awful, had 20 points against them. Philly number 1, New Orleans. Oh, wait, I'm gonna pull up New Orleans. I don't have it in front of me, but they've been really good. And then Detroit, who's been top 5. So it's like it's been awful.
So bad. It's so
Atlanta
bad.
this week is top 10.
Top.
Buffalo is a good matchup. Houston's been better than expected, but yeah, Tennessee, San Francisco, like the back stretch is not bad. Indy, Carolina, Atlanta's tough. Green Bay good. Jacksonville tough. New Orleans tough. So it's actually not that good. Maybe you get rid of Rashad White, but I still think I don't know, man. I just wish Baker was actually checking the football down more like he did last year.
No, he's crazy. He's a reckless man now. I like it. They're winning football games because he's reckless.
Don't ask me why, but I'm keeping Rashad White. But you could keep Najee or Pierce. Whoever you like the best is fine out of those 3. But can't believe you have to drop them. Like, can you at least trade them, get something back? Like trade 2 for 1 or something? Stafford or Baker is a streamer. I'll go staph infection. Lamar or Tua. I'll go Tua. Call me crazy. I like both these games, but I'm going to go Tua because I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to run effectively. They're going to be forced to throw. You could say that for Lamar going up against the Lions, but
he can't throw. So their offense is so bad throwing the football. It's crazy.
Tua's upside is just way higher. Jamal Williams comes off the IR spot, so now I have an extra bench, which I will need to drop a player. Warren White or Jamal Williams? Probably Jamal Williams. I mean, like Kamara is back and taking over. That's been apparent. So Warren or Williams. I don't know why I'm feeling stubborn on Rashad White. Should I trade Lamb and Swift for Hill? I have Bijan and Etienne, Cooper, Watson, Pickens. Yeah. You get Tyreek Hill. I have nothing against it. It's a good trade for both sides. Sucks to lose Swift, and Lamb's still consistent. But yeah, you got Bijan and Etienne, so I would do it. Need a flex, full PPR, Warren White, Hunt, I guess. Chase, good to see you, bro. Jaleel McLaughlin or Foreman. Call me crazy, but I'll go Foreman there. Fun one in my Yahoo league, Stevenson or Gibbs. I'm going to trust Stevenson again this week. Do I start Ingram or Hill? Neither. Also, if Metcalf doesn't play, do I start Palmer or Jason? And I'm sorry, you can probably go. I mean, bad matchup for Ingram and Hill. I guess Hill, maybe he stumbles into the end zone. Between Palmer and JSN. If Metcalf does not play, I guess JSN. If he does, go Palmer. Trade Cooper for Pittman. I mean, you can, but I don't really think it like fully upgrades or downgrades your team. Like those guys are pretty similar. So I think I'd rather have Cooper because I don't know what this Colts offense is going to turn into as Minshew gets like worse and worse. So I think I keep Cooper. Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra, or Adams. I'll go Allen and Amon-Ra. Call me crazy. Is that crazy?
No, not crazy. No, because like, okay, maybe Baltimore's D's better, but Devontae has been banging on the table, like throw me the ball. Like we saw what happened when Jamar Chase did that. And Brian Hoyer is kind of a guy who will just like, okay, I'm gonna feed him in.
True.
I'm a vet. But you gotta trust the sun god. Like the sun god.
Yeah. You never bench Amon-Ra. Keenan Allen's been great. So I just think you're in a position where you can actually sit back and see what happens with Adams. Like it could be really, really good. It's Devontae Adams. It's a good matchup. Brian Hoyer like has done things in his life. So it's close. But Keenan Allen, good game script here against the Chiefs. Amon-Ra, you can't bench him. Can you bench Devontae Adams? Maybe not, but I think we do. Tough, though. You can't really go wrong. Start two running backs: Rashad White, Madison, Swift, Warren, Madison, and Swift. Definitely Swift. Not even close there. 5-1. Do you think Jacobs and AJ Brown for Chase and Taylor is good? No. I mean, it's fine, but I would rather have Jacobs and Brown. You're 5-1. Keep it that way. I mean, it's close. There's 4 really good players here, but Jacobs and Brown have been more consistent. I keep it that way. Start Myers or Lockett. Myers is the floor play. Lockett gives you upside. League mate asked for some advice. Would you trade Najee, Love, KJ for Moss or Judy? No, definitely not Judy. And no, Moss could really be looking at lowered volume. I wouldn't do it. Other running backs are Kamara, Ashane, Pacheco, Roshan. Other wide receivers are Flowers, Lockett, and Dell. Let me see if I can scroll back up. I might not be able to. Would you all trade? Okay, ETN for better wide receiver, been using Puka and Smith. So, no, I'm not trading. I mean, if you're trading ETN here, like, I mean, you have Flowers, Lockett, Dell.
No.
You at least have options. ETN, like, if you're trading him, man.
Because AJ's not playing. Like, Roshan, Pacheco, you're not starting those 3. Like, those 3 are not starts you want to have in your backfield. Like, you have 2 top running backs right now.
I mean, Pacheco's fine. And, like, you could start Kamara and Pacheco, but I just think having ETN, Kamara, Pacheco on the bench is, like, perfect. And then having Devon Shane there, like, you have a great backfield. Sometimes you just have to look at your team and say, I don't have good wide receivers. Like, my floor is that wide receiver. Yeah. My upside's at running back. Yeah. Like, you just roll with your running back, especially when Devon Shane's back. So, I mean, I don't think you better listen. Puka's going to be okay in one bad game. He's got a great matchup this week. I'm going to stand by the fact that I think Devonta Smith at some point will be back to something. I think you just hold. Traded Swift and Garrett Wilson for Waddle week 3. Based on performance, which side is winning? I mean, Waddle's really only had like one game healthy since, so it's kind of hard to say. Wilson's been okay. Swift's been great. It's just hard to say, Tommy, because Waddle hasn't played enough. So probably close though. Need one. B-Rob, White, Ford, Robinson for sure. Gets the Giants for sure. Godwin or Zach Evans? Godwin. Bears 1985. What's going on? And finally caught a live stream. Hope everyone is having a blessed evening. Right back at you, bro. Good to see you, John. What's your thoughts on Calvin Ridley? Boomer bust guy in the flex. That's what I've been saying for like the past week or two. Kirk's the consistent piece. Said it all off season long. Sometimes I get things right. I still don't think Ridley's like doomed or season's over. Like I said, if you watched last night's game, the Saints were rolling coverage over to him like every play. They wanted to take him out of the game, and they basically did. So he's still okay. Don't panic. You can't really. It's not a good time to trade him. You're not going to get much for him unless maybe you package him. But I think he'll be okay. It's not going to be consistent. Jacoby or Rashee Rice? I'd play Rashee Rice. It's okay. If you're going to stack a team, stack the Chiefs, Stober. Everyone can't have a good schedule all the time. This is true. I just really like Rashad White going into the season. Is DK playing? He's a game time decision. You listen, if DK does not play, I think you can play JSN due to the matchup, but be ready for disappointment. Is that too much? Packers or Raiders? I'm going to go with the Raiders. Probably got White in the RB dead zone. Yeah, unless you're me and like wanted to draft him as your RB2. Ron the GOAT. Hey, man, what's up? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Starting Pacheco and Jacobs. Should I start Saquon over one of them? I mean, you should probably start Saquon. Yeah. He's good. So, I mean, I listen. Pacheco's been fine, and I'm a Pacheco fan. It's a good enough matchup, but Jacobs and Saquon need to be in your lineup. You just can't. You'll beat yourself up so much if they do what they do. You know. Do I start Pacheco or Hollywood? I might go Pacheco out of those two, but Hollywood is fine. Like both these guys are just fine. You know, they don't really have like fantastic matchups this weekend. They don't necessarily have like awful matchups this weekend. And matter of fact, Hollywood has a really good matchup. Seahawks been really bad against the wide receiver position. I'd probably just go full PPR. I'd probably just go Hollywood. So I'll just say it. Calvin Ridley is a huge bust. He has been disappointing. Do I continue to roll with Goddard and be sad every week? Yes. That's my answer. Kyron for Olave and Cook. Ooh. Also Brees and Swift. No, I'm keeping Kyron. I'm keeping Kyron right now.
It's going to be a short injury. It's a short injury.
Yeah,
He should be back.
he's been so good. I'm keeping him. Pick one for the flex. Warren, Dobbs, White, Musgrave, McLaughlin. I'll go Dobbs. It's a good matchup. Take the risk. Start Hollywood Brown over Ayuk. Purdy never wants to pass. I still start Ayuk because Vikings. I mean, don't get me wrong. Seahawks also
suck.
Yeah,
suck.
It's a better matchup. Both are good matchups. Both are really good matchups.
Especially if like CMC and Debo are out,
Yeah.
he's 100% getting all the targets.
And even if Debo and or CMC are out there, they're just probably going to be out there.
I could do some.
You know what I mean? So I think I go Ayuk here.
I'll do some deep digging. I can do some deep digging on what Murphy did against them last year.
Do it. Would you start Gabe Davis or Rashee Rice? Rice is the floor. Davis is the upside. So both are fine. Should I try and trade Collins for Aaron Jones? Sure. But try and do it before Sunday because it's a great matchup for Jones. Broncos, worst team in the league against running backs. Another league, start Wilson over Warren or Charb. I mean, he can. It's just like Jeff Wilson, Warren, Charb. Like this tier is just, it's very close. What to do with Olave? Carr sucks, but the outburst on Thursday night with Olave sounds concerning. Broken play. Like Olave thought the ball was not going to come his way, that he could end the route. Carr wanted him to keep going. He probably should have kept going anyways because that could help prevent an interception. Miscommunication. Probably a little bit overplayed media-wise. I'm not too concerned, but I am concerned about Olave's ceiling right now because it's not really Olave. It's more the situation. You know, it's kind of like Garrett Wilson last year when like the Jets offense just sucked. You know, it's like, what are we really supposed to expect? But I still believe in Olave. Fortunately, this year is looking a little concerning, but not a good time to sell him, you know? Would you go Goddard, Thomas, or Musgrave? I might go Goddard here.
He's been such a letdown this year, though.
I know. But this is one of those matchups where I could see him having a good game. And he was okay last week and really good in week 5. So I think he's like how much higher of a ceiling are you going to get, you know?
Yeah.
Heard Rams were announced tomorrow if Kyron's going on IR. Keep posted for that. Goddard's killing me. If I didn't have Hill and ETN, I'd be 1-5. Yeah. And the crazy thing about Goddard, like as bad as he's been, is he's still tied in 12. So Ray Gamer, hope you're doing well, man. Are you not worried that Aaron Jones has been questionable all this time through the bye? I mean, a lot of veteran running backs get that questionable tag. So if he's out there, it's the Broncos. I mean, if it wasn't the Broncos defense, then yeah, but it's the Broncos defense. So no, not worried. Start Hollywood over Jacoby Myers. I would. It's a great matchup. Yeah. They'll have garbage time for sure. Myers is still fine, though. Pick one, Dylan, Foreman, or Murray. Foreman. I know it's football, but Wembanyama, I can't even say that name.
Wembanyama.
Yeah,
Victor Wembanyama.
I'm still behind on basketball. Made Steph Curry and the Warriors look like 5th graders tonight.
He's a freak.
Did the NBA start tonight?
Now it's preseason. They
Okay, still
start
preseason.
Tuesday. It's preseason.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, Wembanyama's a freak. He's a freak. He's
I'm
seven
excited.
five.
We're gonna have baseball, basketball, football,
It's the time hockey's
and
on.
hockey.
And
Hockey.
it's the time, man.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
November, it's the best time of the year.
Swift, Mostart, Barkley, pick 2. Swift and Barkley, based on matchup. All right, guys, we are going to start winding down here. We're towards the bottom of the chat, so make sure you guys hit the like. If you guys are new to the channel, hope you guys enjoyed the stream, got something out of it. Hopefully, we are able to help you guys. So make sure you guys subscribe. And Pete's channel is pinned in the chat as well. So make sure you guys go check out Pete's channel and drop him a sub as well. But we'll start to wrap up here in the next couple minutes. Year's been a roller coaster. Yeah. 9 out of the 16 players that drafted have been hurt. At least Chubb was the only one out the entire year. I mean, it's been tough. But that is, yeah, it's like half your draft.
That's so tough.
More frustrating this season, Jones or Ridley? Ridley.
Jones. Really?
Yeah, because Jones just been hurt. Like,
that's true. You don't have to play him, but like you invested more draft capital in Aaron Jones than I think Calvin Ridley. Unless some people,
some people got Ridley like into the second, beginning of third. So I'm going to say Ridley. All right. Because you're throwing him in your lineup and he's disappointing you. Where Jones, like, it sucks.
Well, I'm smart and not throwing him in my lineup because I know it's going to be bad. I do think the Jags are trending in the right direction, though. I think that offense kind of has it figured out, and he's going to see a lot more better games coming up.
I read, like, with a lot of the matchups he has upcoming, like, a lot of these defenses play zone coverages.
Yeah,
which is,
they have Pittsburgh next week. That's a feisty kind of game for them.
Yeah, which is where he excels. I don't know. Does better.
He goes fast.
He goes fast. Flowers, Addison, Cooper this week. I still think Cooper's okay. I might go Flowers, then Cooper, then Addison. Be my order.
Addison last.
Yes. Good to see you, John. You stay blessed, man. What's up? Would you trade Evans and Brian Robinson for Eckler? Yes. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for all you do at the league. It's been super fun. Yeah, man. Enjoying the leagues this year. I finally had a chance, like last night, to actually go through the leagues and really look because I just haven't been able to. And I'm doing okay this year. So, but yeah, I need to like send out a message in the leagues, be like, hey guys, hope you guys like playing fantasy. Am I crazy from wanting to drop the Eagles defense for Pitt? No. I mean, Pittsburgh's not great. Like, their secondary sucks. They're still going to give up points or front seven.
They just score so much. Like, your floor is so much higher with Pittsburgh because it's like sacks, turnovers, touchdowns.
No,
Philly defense.
The Eagles defense, I mean, they're still top 12, but they're not what they were last year. Pittsburgh's defense, even with the bye week, is defense 3. So, no, you're not crazy. Do we like Drake London now? Terry or Drake? Maybe Terry this week based on matchup. But yeah, Drake London's fine. Thoughts on Eli Mitchell this week if CMC's out? It's risky. Not even a great matchup. It's okay. But we don't know the split here. It's risky. You have to be desperate. No problem, Ray. Yeah, good trade for you. Tommy, have a good night. Thank you, bro. Start Amon-Ra. Yeah, doesn't matter if he's playing the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens. You start him. So, yeah. All right, guys. We'll wrap it up for the night. A little bit over an hour here. Got to the bottom of the chat. So, appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. Thank you guys so much for the fantasy questions. I will be back on tomorrow night, and I'll be on at some point Sunday. So, we'll have plenty of time to get you guys right going into week 7, which is an absolutely disgusting week, but happy to help you guys in any way I can and any way that we can. So Pete's channel, one last time, pinned in the chat. Make sure you guys go drop Pete a sub. Does all kinds of sports content, including tons of football content. So, and good friend of the channel, and has been here almost every Friday night of the channel to help us out. So other than that, thank you guys for hanging out. Pete, you want to say anything before we?
Nope. Again, hit everything. All the notes. If you want to check me out, if you don't know who I am already, check me out After Review Sports. Sports content every day, do news videos during the week. Power rankings on Tuesday are the big one. And Monday night live streams, my Vikings playing, it's going to be extra this week. So if you want to stop by and watch what it's like to see an actual Vikings fan who maybe is a little too passionate about his team watch a football game, it might be worth a stop by Monday night. But yeah, love doing these streams Friday. It's always fun to talk to the chat and try and help out with fantasy.
We're gonna raid Pete's stream during the Vikings game Monday night, so be prepared, catch fam. Flex PPR Rice or Foreman. Rice. Love this matchup. Mahomes likes Rice. Start him. Good game script. Throw him out there. All right, guys. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Beginning of the weekend. Everyone be safe. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for the fantasy questions. Love you guys, man. Love the community. Love the catch fan. Talk to you guys soon. I had to bench Cousins for Carr. Drake or Watson? Watson. Great matchup. Last question. Appreciate you guys. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, Odd here on the cat.